course.
Good evening and welcome, everybody. Saturday night silly shill show, and we've got a real special one for you. Professor Phil Bell has joined us. We've got a selection of takes from Quantum Eraser that we're going to destroy. An email has been sent to see if he would actually like to join us. We don't know if that'll actually happen. I mean, come on, look who we're talking about here, right? But either way, he's fucking getting it. So I'm going to hand it right over to Aimee Hogan. She's going to take us around the table. How's it going, Aimee?
Oh, it's going great. Thank you. I'm so excited about this show. We're going to have so much fun trouncing on QE. He deserves it. He put out a video the other day that wasn't very nice about some of the people that I know on Discord. And yeah, so he definitely deserves this. So let's get right around the room and see who's here, and let's get going. So M2M, good to see you here. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been looking forward to this. But Dick, what are you doing to me? Doing this show an hour early? You're throwing out my clock completely, dude. What's happening? It feels wrong. It's just not right. But I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, it'd be really great if QE turns up. But like you said, I don't think so.
Yeah, he won't leave his echo chamber, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And next up, we have Mike Bertelson. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just got out of the pool a little while ago, and I'm all rested and ready to go. And QE's not coming. He doesn't have the sack to show up because he knows he can't handle it.
Exactly. So.
Yep.
Yep. But hopefully, maybe you never know, though. So
you never know. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be interesting.
Yes, it would be. And next up, we have DKG Custom. How are you, DKG?
Hello. Well, I'm glad the professor's here because, maybe tonight we can get an answer to that big burning question that has been on my mind for an awfully long time. Is where the hell do those silent but deadly farts come from? Maybe we'll get an answer.
That is very, very deep. So we'll have to try to figure that one out. And before I get to our special guest, I do want to turn to Dick Dawson and see how are you doing tonight?
Oh, better actually. The sky is still clearing. I can breathe a little better. And, I don't feel like I'm on the verge of an O2 mask every time I pop my head out the door. So definitely good. And I had a quick peek at what Professor Phil Bell has planned for us this evening. And hold on to your asses, fellow babies. This is going to fucking hurt. I love it.
I am so excited about this. And so now we are going to turn to our special guest tonight. We have Professor Phil Bell with us. How are you tonight, Professor?
I'm very well, and a good evening to all the people for which it is evening, and a good morning to all the people which this is Sunday morning, which it is for me.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you here. We're just really excited about this. This is going to be great. So shall we get right into it? Shall we get started?
Why not?
Let's go.
Yes.
So forgive me for this. This it's a bit raw. The sequence that I've put it in. So the way we'll do this is basically listen to it and stop and have a chat about some things that have been said, whether they're good or bad. And may I say this, that let's see if we can attack his argument rather than rather than the person too much. So even though that's not his way of doing things, yeah.
Maybe just a little bit, please. tiny bit, just slightly.
I'm reminded by the wife of a president who I thought did a great job, and that was Michelle Obama. So, and she says something like, "Take the high road."
Absolutely.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
It's going to be very hard, but we can do it.
I'm sure I'll fall into the other bit as well. So,
everybody knows I'll give them one or two. But when you say this kind of stupid crap, somebody's going to call you a fucking idiot. There's just nothing that can be done. But but we'll do it nicely. No.
His latest videos about me. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you saying that we can, as long as we call him a fucking idiot nicely, it'll be okay? Will it? Is that
Yeah, I reckon that's probably.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I got this all queued up, so I'll bring the holographic projection that we call a television, or is it the other way around? I don't fucking know. I'll bring it into full force. Here we go. Hang on to your asses. Oh, where's the video? You want to play it for me? There we go. That's better. Yeah. Is there no audio?
Quantum erased.
Oh, there we go. VLC video monitoring out. Oh, I remember. Yeah, it just takes a couple of seconds.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to skip through because I don't know when which button is this?
It's pretty much almost straight away. So yeah, just let it play from the beginning. Yeah.
I could barely hear it.
Video's hold on. Okay, let me bring it back. Okay. Now, why is that so low?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did have it up pretty high, but too high. But then I'm not sure. You'll have to have a look at it.
I just reset VLC player just in case there was something going on there. So let's see what happens this time.
Okay.
And then he says that
there we
when
go.
an object leaves the surface, it conserves angular momentum. Number one, he doesn't know what angular momentum is. It fell like the first. They don't have physics in first grade, do they? If they did, he'd fail that, right? Junior high physics, he wouldn't even pass it. To invoke angular momentum, I don't know a reasonable analogy would be like to talk about water.
Because you don't understand
it. Yeah. So right. So let's just stop it there. So basically, we missed a little bit of it, and that he was saying. So what he was saying was initially, why on earth would you have conservation of momentum? In other words, why is it that if you jump off if you jump up or a helicopter goes up, why is it that it still has the same momentum that it did before while it was still on the ground? And this is the question that he asks, why is that the case? Okay, well, you haven't changed anything. You haven't done any work to change the fact that movement that you did have on the earth, other than move in one direction upwards. You didn't change the other direction. So of course you're going to have that momentum. But it seems like most flat earthers can't understand this. Although you can explain to them, look, get in the back of a pickup truck or a lorry or something like that, and then jump or throw a ball up in the air. You'll notice that it comes straight back down.
That's what I was going to say, Professor. They're misunderstanding the fact that I can literally flick popcorn in the air and catch it in my mouth while doing 70 mile an hour on the highway. Come on. It doesn't slam against the back window. It doesn't just, stop dead.
We had I remember having a discussion, I think it was with Flat Earthology Jesus, and we are trying to get him to understand this. So one analogy I used, I can't remember what his response was if I sat in one end of the carriage to a train carriage and he sat at the other, the train is doing 100 miles an hour. If I threw the ball at him in the same direction that the train is traveling, does that mean that the ball's going at 100 miles an hour plus the speed I throw it at? And I said, from an outside perspective, yeah, it is. But from his perspective, is it going faster? And he kept insisting it is. And it's like,
no.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
But and here's the thing too. Professor Bell, he brought up about the, throwing a ball in the back of a pickup truck. That is literally something that is so simple to do that any of these flat earthers can go test this. They don't have to make the claim.
Yep.
They can literally do it themselves.
Yeah,
They don't.
Yeah, exactly. What springs to mind, I had about 5 years ago, I had an accident on my motorcycle. I was going at around about 100 kilometers an hour at the time. Well, the leathers and my helmet and all that went down the road at 100 kilometers an hour as well. I didn't just stop abruptly, and which is a good thing, because if you did stop that fast, you certainly wouldn't survive it.
Exactly.
You usually need a tree or something like that to stop you going at that speed, and then it's not the outcome's not really good.
We should let Aimee jump in because somebody was late.
Yes. We have a late arrival, but it's a good arrival. We have Sarcastic Barman that just joined us. So how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm good. I wasn't late. You were all early. I finished work. I sat down, thought I've got like 50 minutes till the show starts. Wife's making a cake. I'm getting ready, and I'm like chatting in the thing. Why is no one talking back? I thought I'll get the green room up and ready. Oh, fuck the show. Oh, shit, the show started. Oh, crap, the bed. It's like, oh.
We're running on Aussie time tonight, right?
Yes.
Well, that's fair enough. I can't complain at that. It's just like if I wasn't busy 7 days a week, I probably would have seen the notifications. It's just like, nope, there's no time for fucking nothing.
The Welsh are always late. That's why they're backwards.
No, the English are just
Hello,
always
Barman.
early.
We're glad to have you.
Yes. So in a nutshell, just to finish off what he's on about, he's obviously talking about Coriolis, and he doesn't seem to understand. And we'll hear Dr. Veach talk about this later on. But basically, he doesn't understand that this idea that something moving north to south will deflect if the speed underneath it has to change. So we'll listen to Dr. Veach tell us about that, and it's got a good explanation. Of course, QE doesn't understand it, or is choosing to be obtuse.
Obtuse.
Or with the greatest respects to QE, he might possibly be a fucking idiot, maybe. I don't know, just politely.
You just had to slip one.
Yeah. But in the loveliest way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Greatest respect.
I mean, let's face it, QE just always invokes the Newton's laws of bowel motion.
Aimee needs in.
Yes, please. We got a sticker from Dr. Osiris for 99 pence. Thank you so much. It's a cute little smiley face there. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I like that one. That was cool. So, okay. So how about I push play again? Oh, no, everybody done with QE? No, I'm just kidding. Here, I'm going to push the button.
I don't know. It's too hard. It's so stupid, right? But we'll deal with that. I don't want to give too much up on that because it's coming. Just wait. However, listen to what I just said. If there's only one reference frame on the spinning ball space monkey religion, and something leaves the surface of that, then why would it need to conserve any momentum whatsoever?
What?
Yeah. And then he laughs, which is even funny.
Right. It's not that it needs.
That's what happens.
It does.
We need to know that models and statistics don't make up for the science.
What?
What?
How do I know that? Because of you. Scientific method. People, learn it.
Yeah, I'm the author. We went over it this morning on Nathan's show that I was the author.
You're the scientific method guy.
Oh.
Okay, so you heard it from his own mouth. He is the author of the scientific method.
Yeah.
You heard it right there from his own mouth. So he's taking credit for it, and just like anything, he's decided that we're going to describe the scientific method as this, singular thing. And anybody who doesn't follow this exact method is not doing science, and I think he knows that's nonsense. But what he's trying to do is to try and deflect away from actually answering the question. So try to discredit as many hypotheses or questions as possible by saying it doesn't fit into this particular groove. Therefore, we don't have to discuss it.
Yep.
So he's the author of his own scientific method. In other words, the author,
exactly.
and one person has bought it himself.
Yeah, and of course, what he'll do is he'll see if he can, out of all the millions, literally, of papers that are around, he'll select one or two that match what he thinks it's supposed to say, and then say, look at this. Dr. So-and-so is saying this, Professor So-and-so is saying that, and they match exactly what I'm saying, taking all of that out of context. And those people would either die laughing or literally die if they knew that their work was being cited for this nonsense.
Yes. And what he doesn't seem to realize, too, is the scientific method, how we do experiments and how we do testing. It also varies by discipline. I mean, someone doing human behavioral testing isn't going to follow the same sort of procedural steps that I would do as an engineer to do component level testing in a piping system. It's not, it depends on who you are and what you do. Also, and he's got it. They have this like lockstep thing, and they've been, Quantum Eraser. What is he? He's a dietitian, right? So he's and they also, like you said, with the scientific method. The other thing too is, in order to use that to dismiss answering questions, they've also decided what qualifies as science and what doesn't. So, that's the other half of the, I don't have to answer your questions because what you do is not real science anyway.
Hang on a minute. Are you trying to imply that a flat earther would try and move goalposts and deny answering questions just so they can keep their flat earth belief, so they can keep taking money off people who are too stupid to understand that the world isn't flat, and then just keep repeating the cycle over and over again?
We might have got all go home because he said everything right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So good night, everybody. I'm just kidding.
Sarcastic Barman's sewing it all up. It's all done, finished. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Ever.
But they were talking about something to do with monkeys there, and one thing's for sure: there was a few monkeys talking, but they're not in this meet. They were on the video.
Actually, it'll be good if we get around to talking about. I'm not sure if I captured anything apart from his use of the words Narnia and another word that he likes that word a lot. And when he brought that up, of course, now it's in the vernacular for all of the flat earthers. So there's the Narnia bit which says space is fake. This is what they're asserting. And I absolutely can't get that, because I mean, what do you call that place if you go higher than 100 kilometers? What do you call it?
Yeah,
call it what you like. You can call it Narnia if you want to. We just call it space.
Mm-hmm. You can't deny space and continue to use the GPS in your mobile device. For the love of God, please just pull your ass from your head and give it a shake, all right?
Well, they deny all of science, yet still use all those devices to get their videos uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, but they replace the reality with their own bullshit version of it. So GPS works because of the towers or balloons or whatever,
Yeah. Well, when my submarine surfaced frickin' 1,500 miles from the nearest land at periscope depth to get a satellite fix on our location, pretty sure it wasn't from a fucking cell tower.
Maybe it was from a Saturloon.
Who was it? Who was it? That flat Earth couple? They weren't actually a couple officially, but there was like something going on there a couple of years ago, and they were on that flat Earth documentary. I'm forgetting the names now, but anyway, whoever they were, they decided to go. They were going to go to Kennedy Space Center, but they needed to navigate the way there. And guess what they used? GPS. Although that's Patricia and Patricia Steele and
Mark Sargent. Right?
Mark Sargent, that's it. Yeah, used the GPS.
I think he wanted them to be a couple. I'm not sure she was on board.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's irrelevant. But yeah, they used the sat nav to get there. I thought that was
hilarious. And if you understand how GPS works, the idea of it being like Saturloons or something like that, or, towers bobbing on buoys in the ocean, and whatnot, is absolute ridiculous. The precision needed for that time signal so that it's accurate is unbelievable. So it's just ridiculous. But, Professor, should we play a bit more?
Yeah, why not? Let's keep playing.
All righty.
Here we go. The PhD booger-eating schmuck, M. Scott Beach, elbow deep, May 2021.
Listen to my whole sentence. If you're on a sphere, then you change your latitude, you also change your rate of rotation.
Well, that's what your pseudoscience priests tell you, and you mindlessly parrot. But the Earth is demonstrably flat and not rotating. It's also a non sequitur fallacy.
Did he just cue somebody of parroting?
A shape. That premise alone doesn't in any way even remotely imply that the shape is moving, in this case rotating. Shapes are not moving.
Yeah, let's drop it there.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, if the Earth is demonstrably flat, then please demonstrate it, please.
That's the funniest bit. I just can't help laughing every time someone says that the Earth is demonstrably flat. That's the funniest bit.
With no demonstration whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, but it looks flat. There you go. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
As many flat earthers have actually admitted that there is no flat Earth model, and lots of flat earthers have said that.
That's not what they mean by demonstrably. They mean they've got a monster that they're going to set on you if you ever dare present evidence that the world isn't flat.
Yeah.
I've got a monster you can chew on.
It amazes me. It amazes me that they think it is so easy to debunk all of science that some, guy with absolutely zero technical background can do it, while every scientist, physicist, and engineer in the history of forever can't see it. It's like amazing. The level of Dunning-Kruger in that assertion is just amazing. It boggles the mind.
Oh, that's it. Absolutely.
It certainly does. Yeah. I think sometimes you listen and you can laugh about it, and then sometimes you cringe. One of these silly people say like, that Einstein was an idiot, or they say, or worse still, Newton was an idiot. I was thinking, you actually don't know anything. Yeah. Well, first of all, Newton, by the time he was 24, around that age, had written the calculus. Do you even know what that means?
No, they don't.
And to call that person an idiot is just mind-bogglingly stupid.
Two of the greatest minds in humanity,
exactly.
An idiot by somebody who's
Well, J.M. Truth literally said he says, I have literally destroyed Newton and Einstein. It's like you would win the Nobel Prize in everything and be the most famous person in history if you could.
No doubt.
It's like,
Speaking of Einstein, I just had to say that Sloth Girl and Purple Rhymes with Orange sent me in the box, and it looks like it's got to be from the late 60s, 70s, an Albert Einstein action figure.
Wow.
Nice.
That's funky.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's unbelievable. My son saw it, his face lit up, so we're going to leave it in the box and we're going to hang it on his bedroom wall.
Wow.
Yeah. Aimee.
Yes, please. I just wanted to make sure that we introduce Mipet tonight. She just joined us too. How are you tonight, Mipet?
I'm good, thanks, guys. Sorry, yeah, the early start just killed me. Hey, Barman, I'm right with you there.
I knew it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll forgive you this once.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm enjoying the show.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, speaking of which, I think it's time for me to hit that play button then, isn't it?
I think it is.
Alrighty then. God, I sound like Carrie.
So you're changing your rate of rotation if you're on a sphere when you change latitude. It's a standard for rate of rotation.
Are you high right now?
Either that or he should be. See the previous response in toto. It's another non sequitur fallacy. Even if it was rotating, how in the world is the rate of rotation a stand-in for the rate of rotation, whether you're changing your latitudes or not, booger eater?
But then you then check to see, does the rate of rotation affect precession as predicted?
His question slowed down for comprehension. As we're all aware, the booger eater's mouth is about 5 minutes ahead of the caper-sized piece of horse shit between his ears. The question: does the rate of rotation affect precession as predicted? You have yet to establish that the Earth is rotating. You kind of have to do that first.
Yeah. All right.
And
You could have said yes.
Wait a minute. The rate of precession with latitude. Actually, that is literally how the Foucault's pendulum works. You can calculate your latitude, whether you're north or south of the equator, by the way, just by its precession. The amount of time it takes to do 360 degrees, of course, you know, if you're doing this experiment yourself, it usually doesn't go that long, but you can get a couple hours out of it. You can, if you know what your latitude is, you can calculate what that period of precession is going to be. Or if you just take the period of precession, you could calculate what your latitude is. So that literally just answers his fucking question. Yes. The rate of rotation does vary with latitude, and we can measure it. You could do it yourself in a nice stairwell somewhere with a little Foucault's pendulum and test that out yourself. You don't have to take anybody's word for it. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Actually, you can
there's
go
a question.
and buy one of these. You can go and buy one of these. They're about around about $2,000, and they made specifically for measuring this precession and hence calculating the latitude. In fact, they actually have they have a protractor at the bottom of this as a scale, so that you can actually
draw right
read it directly. So
yeah,
you actually go and buy one of these.
Yes,
that'd be awesome.
That's the other thing too, is you can on Amazon right now you can buy a benchtop Cavendish experiment. You think any one of them will do that either? No
way.
They don't want to test
Professor
that.
Bell, there was a question in the chat. It was thrown at both of us. If you were in the back of a moving pickup with an ejection seat instead of a trampoline and it shot you up in the air, where would you land? I'm sorry.
Well, I would still be going as fast as the truck, wouldn't I? So
yeah.
You know,
you have to throw me away from the truck for me to not land back on.
Let me answer that question. Let me. I'll do it. Hands up, sir. Hands up.
All right. Stop handing up and fucking speak.
Yeah, get on with it.
I know where you'll land. On the ground.
But
you know, the answer to that question is so difficult. The answer is so difficult because it depends. Is the ejection seat set to shoot you exactly straight in the air? How far is it going to shoot you in the air? Because, you know, if you go really high, well, the truck is going to eventually get away from you because they're, you know, you're putting energy into yourself. It's not there's a lot of factors here. It's just stupid, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, the other factors, of course, is the drag, aerodynamics are going to come into play, obviously. But if you take aerodynamics out of the equation, then it simplifies it, doesn't it? If you take that out. So technically speaking, you're going to land back on the truck again.
Right. What's happening is that relative speed there's a difference between them at some stage, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
On a side note, do you remember that Russian aircraft that had an ejection seat built in? It was quite a large design flaw because the aircraft was a fucking helicopter.
Oh, holy!
Well, dig this then. On the Gemini spacecraft, they had an ejection seat system in an oxygen-rich cabin.
Yeah.
Higher oxygen. Yeah, get it.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And there was another Russian plane that had an ejection seat that fired down. That actually threw you out the bottom of the plane. As opposed, and they were testing it, and the guy, I can't remember if he crashed the plane or not, but he was in trouble when they were testing it because he couldn't eject because he was too low. Because the ejection seat would just smack into the ground.
Yeah, it would be more like a seed sowing thing for a farm at that point, right? It would just literally plant them.
I know we're getting a bit off topic, but why would you have an ejection seat that goes through the? I don't know. Don't answer that.
Let's hold on. Let's switch us back to the video because they know.
I know why. It's when you're flying in Australia and you're upside down.
All right, I'm hitting the button.
No comment.
You have no scientific prediction here, as in a scientific hypothesis. Even if you knew how to construct one, and we all know you don't, you have no viable independent or dependent variable in this genre.
It does. Oh, look, it's recessing.
I did call a pussy cat.
Now you have to ask
all the
yourself.
firm and the consequence.
No, it isn't.
Oh, yes, it is. Textbook. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. If the Earth is rotating, we will observe a putty tat. We see a putty tat. Therefore, the Earth is rotating.
Now you have to ask yourself, is it possible, is it quite likely that the factor that was changing this dependent or independent variable is the thing that's causing it to persist, or is it something coincidental? And that's what I was trying to explain to you before, which is always a possibility, which is where you check in to see, do I meet my standard of statistical significance or not?
What the fuck? My word, you're delusional. Possibility and likelihood is only used with inductive reasoning. There is no inductive reasoning in the scientific method. You were changing your independent variable? The only thing you were changing in your previous non sequitur fallacy was the latitude. Latitudes don't cause anything, and most certainly don't cause the Earth to spin in space monkey, you bozo. And newsflash, latitude.
So I think that we've already gone through this idea that latitude doesn't change anything. So I'm going to dismiss this. I'm going to dismiss what you're doing because it doesn't meet my idea about what the scientific method is, and then says that you can't use the latitude as an independent variable. It says, well, I'm going to change this variable. I've got a variable. Latitude happens to be one of them. Mm-hmm. I want to see what happens with the precession if I move from place to place, from latitude to latitude. And so I can't see the problem there. It's like his argument about time as well. What he's doing is he's trying to frame the argument so that latitude doesn't become the thing that you want to change.
Yeah. Because then he can dismiss the answer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what he's saying is that it's not you're not doing science unless this thing actually causes that thing. Not that when this thing happens, then as a result of doing that, then you get another effect. Now, what he's saying is that how can a latitude cause something? In other words, what does it do to cause something? Well, you changed your latitude, and as a result of that, the precession of the pendulum changed. I can't see a problem with that, but he manages to squirm some and change that in such a way that.
Well, he does that because it's an observed. It is something easily observed that the precession changes with latitude, and it's symmetric about the equator. So for 40 degrees south of the equator and 40 degrees north of the equator, you get basically the same period of precession.
Right.
Yeah.
And how on God's green earth could they possibly explain how that would happen on a flat earth? So in order to even avoid the question, we just arbitrarily decide what it is you are allowed to use as an independent variable, and then dismiss the evidence out of hand because you can't use that as an independent variable. They just make up their own shit.
So
dismiss it.
Get rid of the question instead of having to answer it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You said that infinitely better than I did. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, get rid of the question. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Well, I'm liking this so far because quantum, what you're going in for, but the professor has really made sure that we get the parts where he's saying what we want to hear, not the like he's gotten rid of some of the crap we don't need to as we go through. Right? It'll be good. Yeah. It'll be. So on that note, I'm going to hit the magic button.
Don't have physical existence, you booger-eating goober. Moreover, and knee-slapping hilarious, the quintessential example of giving a 3-year-old a chainsaw. In retrospect, a Trojan horse, if you will. After the ball-tarred booger-eaters continually got their asses handed to them from 2016 through 2019 because of flat earthers asking for their independent variable, they eventually wisened up, I use that as loosely as possible, and educated themselves, again, as loosely as possible, on what independent variables are. For whatever reason, they focused heavily on the changeability aspect and continue to do so. These schnoz particle chefs think that if you can change something, then it's automatically an independent variable. But an independent variable, the presumed cause, is varied and manipulated itself by the researcher so as to change the relationship with the dependent variable. The booger eater here said he changed his latitude, ergo, independent variable. He didn't vary and manipulate a latitude itself. He merely changed his position relative to an arbitrary variable.
Oh, God.
Fuck's sake.
That was painful to listen to.
That was very painful. I'm just sitting here thinking he's not going to say something stupid like time isn't an independent variable or something like that. And then he just said that your location doesn't matter. It's like, what the fuck?
M2M, you're the one with the pause. Who paused?
Me.
No, I wasn't. I did say something, but I didn't.
Oh, it was Barman. I'm sorry.
I've had my bitch about it. That's good.
Aimee, your hand is up.
Yes, please. I just wanted to introduce Big Blue. He came into the show, and I just wanted to say hello. And how are you tonight, Big Blue? Oops,
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Yeah, I had to find the unmute button. Took me a second. Yeah, I'm here. How's everybody? How are you guys doing?
Hi, Blue.
Good.
Doing good.
Very well, thanks, Blue.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
So you were the subject of one of QE's recent videos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He seems to be infatuated with my balls for some reason. I don't know.
Lord Thunder and Jesus, boy.
Yeah.
Blue, have you been approached yet to get your videos, subsidized by Manscaped or anything like that yet?
No, not yet.
I think they'd be a
Boy,
perfect spot.
I'm hoping,
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to be sponsoring everybody else, so I can't see why they're not sponsoring you.
They sent me a letter and said, with that lovely hair, there's nothing we can do with you, buddy. So here, why don't we dive right back in? Because right now we've got, you were paying attention there, Blue, but latitude, independent variable. I was thinking about yourself and experiences in life. I was like, holy shit, you must be screaming and yelling. We got to get him in here, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hit the button and let's stupid be stupid for a little bit more.
Tell latitude. See it? They had the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Boneheads.
What?
That's what you get for pretender clowning. These dizzy Dunning-Kruger dipshit doofuses have Elmer claiming that rockets work in a man-made vacuum on Earth, which they don't, by the way. Therefore, rockets work in a fairy tale outer space vacuum is belly-lapping fallacious, circular reasoning, and false comparison fallacy. It's circular because you're assuming the very thing you're attempting to prove, the vacuum of space.
Pause. It just pisses me off to no end. These flat earthers go, there's no vacuum of space. We've got a pressure gradient. Yeah, but there's no vacuum. You know, you can buy a balloon that will go quite high. You could, buy amateur rockets, get all together and actually prove this once and for all. But no, you wouldn't want to fucking do that, would you? Because once again, you go and prove that flat earth is fake, you're going to lose all that lovely shill fucking money you get and all those super chats and all those Patreon things and Nathan Oakley 1984 members only chats where you've got to be subscribed to chat in the actual members chat for the live premiere things. That'll all go away and then you'll have to actually get fucking jobs. Oh, how rude of you.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, pressure gradient is something that you can actually go out and do yourself, right? There's different ways you can do it. You could drive up a very mountain, take a barometer with you, not a problem. I'm sure if you asked a very nice pilot and asked him nicely, like Big Blue or somebody, or I don't know, Wolfie 6020 or something like that, take you in an aircraft, take your own barometer, and you'll see the change in pressure.
But then you get people like Spurs that will go, well, no, the pressure's not changing. It's just getting colder.
Well, actually, Wolfie 6020 actually did that. And it wasn't very high. He just walked up a hill with his phone with a barometer app, and you could watch the pressure change as he climbed the hill. And that's all you really need to do. And he did it on a video, so you could see it happen. It's really that simple.
Yeah, we're making quite a good list of things that they can actually do themselves tonight, aren't we? That's at least 3 things now.
Somebody's done that experiment with just a packet of crisps.
They have. Really? That was quite cool in the car driving up and watching the crisps on.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
The only problem is, though, flat earthers can't go up hills because a hill would give some sort of evidence that there's more topography to Earth than just flatness, and they're just wrong again.
Yeah.
Oh, Barman, you missed my joke last night. How many flat earthers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh God.
101. One to do the job and 100 to deny the rotation.
I like that one.
That's good.
Had to plug that one again.
Yes.
What do you think there, Professor? Any thoughts on that little segment? Shall we play a bit more? What do you think?
Just keep going, yeah.
Okay, here we go. A little bit more of QE.
I said, do you know the guys I'm dealing with?
All
I refuse to converse with any of you unless it's recorded and broadcast live. That's what it seems like these days. That is too funny. Good job. But I understand. I got it. I'm dogging you guys out, but I totally get it. And we don't need to, for the most part, because at this point, I mean, everyone, the high-level ball busters are all proficient, right? So we don't need to have those production meetings. All right, let me see what we got here before we get started. I know everyone's waiting for it. Hey, appreciated 5 angels for super chat. Drones prove flat Earth. They calibrate horizontal upon power up and never again. If you take off after 15 minutes of sitting on the ground after power up, there is no drift as there should be. Yeah, well, back to that. Remember, my number one point for the rotation of the Earth is a drone in the inertial reference frame. And it's the inertial reference frame star and moon rotation. And like I said, we have that video. It's a large file. And every time, I'm not going to play it today. We'll probably do it here shortly, though. But it's a great argument. You're all over it. Great job. Thanks for the
stop that one.
Yeah.
Bollocks. I mean, he does realise the only reason why drones exist are so easy to fly is because they are constantly compensating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the drone going straight up has the momentum that it's still had. If it's going straight up, that it had while it was on the ground. So as far as the Earth is concerned, it and the Earth are moving together in the same direction. So it is the same as if it was on the ground, as long as the Earth is maintaining the same position that it had above the ground and hovers in the same place. It will be as if it's on the ground.
But it's a cybernetic.
I think that was lost on me.
It's constantly making adjustments.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if it's the Earth's rotating, spinning, or jumping up and down, or Coriolis, or anything. It just the drone will just automatically compensate. That's the whole point of them. That's why they don't.
Well, it is better. Yeah, I agree. It wouldn't have to compensate for the movement of the Earth. It would just be moving anyway, because the Earth is moving. The drone is moving in the same direction. It has the same momentum, unless it does something else. I mean, Newton's first law. Unless it does something else to change that original momentum that it had, this lateral momentum, it's going to keep doing it. What changed? You're going up and down. What changed? Where did you change your movement, your momentum laterally? You didn't. So why should it change?
Well, in order to get out of that argument, he's gonna do like I've seen him do before and claim there's now 2 separate frames of reference for.
That's what he does.
Yeah,
it's
for
all
one
the same,
situation.
but everything is in the same non-inertial frame of reference.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't just throw an extra one. You can't.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but you just can't make this shit up. Except this time I said it in a different way, right? But you know what I mean.
Well, he makes it up.
I was going to say,
You can throw in 1 billion different frames of reference if you want to, but it doesn't make any difference. The drone, the atmosphere, the Earth, everything is rotating in the same non-inertial frame of reference.
Yep.
Yes.
And as long as that thing isn't moving in that non-inertial frame of reference, there is no Coriolis force.
Right.
It's that simple.
It's I don't think that it's not exactly rocket science, as von Braun might say.
It's actually quite a simple thing to understand, but and then you've got to divide. There are genuinely people who don't understand it, but I don't think he's one of those, and I don't think Oakley would be one of those.
No,
I think they do understand it.
I'll tell you.
I think to argue against it as well as they do in this word salady sort of way shows that they actually know, and that's how they can dance around it.
Yeah. So yes, I agree. So Blue, what were you going to say? So I cut you off.
No, I'm just I'm really not sure if he isn't actually that stupid.
Yeah.
I really wonder if he's not dumb enough that he really does not understand frames of reference.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you could be right. He probably has. I think there's probably something in the middle there. So, in between fully understanding it and not understanding it at all, he's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, which is usually the part where you get everything horribly wrong because you assume that last little bit wrong, right?
Yeah, most likely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll hit the button here and we'll let him go a little bit longer.
Yeah, but hold on. But do say what the video was. I detail what the drone did and what it showed, please.
The drone, what it detailed, as soon as it left the non-inertial spinning reference frame and it was stationary in the inertial reference frame, if the Earth was spinning, causing the stars to rotate, then those stars and moon wouldn't move. But as soon as it goes, as soon as it's got its eye on it, and it's stationary, the drone's stationary, and the stars and the moon, 10 stars in the moon, without parallax, by the way, but I digress, start moving. As soon as that happens, it's over. The entire heliocentric spinning ball space monkey religion implodes. It's over right there. Simple.
Yeah, that was terrible. Right, let me try better. Do better. So, all that's being shown in the drone footage is a drone being launched and filming stars. And as they go up, the stars are continuing to move in the frame of view of the stationary, if you will, hovering drone. But therefore, the view from a hovering drone is exactly the same as the view if you're standing on the ground. The stars move in the frame of the drone. Now, it's claimed that Earth's turning beneath. Therefore, as the drone launched, in line with the Coriolis claim of the globe, they would stop moving. They don't.
Oh dear God! Now my fucking head hurts.
Who said that? Who's ever said that?
Wow, talk about false equivalence, logical fallacy. Just made up a whole bunch of shit and said this is it. I mean, holy crap! What the hell do the stars have anything to do with anything between the drone and the Earth? Did I miss something?
How dare Oakley tell us what we believe? Use logical fallacy to basically say what we believe. That's not what we believe at all, you fuckwit. And it's not a confirmation, so I can call him a fuckwit.
He's conflating a whole bunch of different things together, saying if we're moving, this should happen. If we're not moving, this will happen. And yet can't show a single technical rationale to support any of those arguments. Nothing. Just saying it, just making the claim is itself called a proof surrogate logical fallacy. It's a fallacy all by itself.
Well, I would just call it bollocks.
Yeah, it is. It's bullshit. But he likes to use logical fallacies. So here's your fucking logical fallacy. A proof surrogate logical fallacy where a claim is presented as evidence when no evidence is given. So
nice.
You know, and that's what that entire discussion was.
I'd like to do a poll to the viewers. With that level, like when you've got word salad that good in the bowl, what dressing do you put on it? Me, I go for Newman's Ranch. But throw it in the chat. Let us know what kind of dressing you like on your word salad.
If that bowl was in my room, I'd shit in it.
Jesus. Even when Monkey's not here, guys.
Oh. Wow. And I quote, as soon as you leave the non-inertial reference frame, excuse me, QE, you fucking idiot. You don't leave a reference frame and go into some other reference frame. Jesus God, it's not like going from the kitchen into the den. You are in the non-inertial reference frame all the fucking time. Get your head out of your ass, sir.
Well said. Well said. I'll kick him in a bit more then. I have a feeling that we're coming up to a spot where the professor is really going to address the situation. So let's get to it.
Can I answer something?
Was that?
Go ahead.
That's all.
Go ahead. Before we get started, go ahead, but make it quick.
Right. So yeah, all drones all function as well as they do and orientate as well as they do because they have passive gyroscope systems
drone.
to orient themselves with. I think that a lot of mobile phones these days also have this built in to the actual phone mechanism, right? Because they don't even need moving parts anymore. I don't know if it's like a ring laser gyroscope, but it's like very small systems that work very accurately. So they apply gyroscopes to find their orientation in Euclidean space.
It's called a MEMS,
which would only work if the Earth was not spinning.
Oh.
Right?
And
Indeed,
there's
up on
like
startup.
400,000 web pages on it.
Thanks
if
for being
you knew how to
concise.
use Google.
We ready?
Oh, we're
Let's
not
go
ready.
with some light
Pause.
discipline here.
Pause.
I just want to know, in theory, how do gyroscopes work on a flat Earth? And even more amusingly, how would a ring laser gyroscope work on a flat Earth, considering that if we're just going back to gravity and everything isn't a thing, it's all density, buoyancy that we fall down. What sort of forces are acting on a gyroscope to keep it level so things can be stabilized? And what, if anything, is acting on a ring laser gyroscope that lets it pick up fucking everything? I don't need to do the meme, but you all know what I mean. It's like, what the actual fuck?
Well, and also, if we were like flat and stationary, why did the gyroscope ever get invented? We'd never need one.
Yeah. I'd like to see a ring laser gyroscope that fits into a cell phone. That'd be impressive.
That would be quite
Wow. No doubt. What do you think, Professor? A little bit further then?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, he might have stepped away for a second.
No, I'm right. So no, keep going. I'm beginning to get to that place where I'll need to go, but keep going. I want to actually talk about the last bit of the video. So what?
Okay.
This is where he discusses where he decides that Snell's law is not a thing, and that refraction doesn't exist. So terrestrial refraction doesn't exist. He actually says that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Aimee has her hand up.
Oh, sorry. I'll pause it. There we
Thank you. Yes. Just wanted to jump in real quick. Godless Scummer for £2 says gyroscope, 2 words. Thanks, Bob. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Godless.
Yeah, Bobby 15 to the rescue. I love it. All right, here we go. Blue, what's the push the monitors? Do you want to give the proper send into the video here if you've got the microphone handy, my friend?
Oh, warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out the oven mitts, push the monitors back out of punching range. Let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
There you go.
I'm going to go through three-quarters of the presentation, and I'll stop. You'll realize why I stopped. And then we'll finish it off right at the end with the last quarter of the presentation. It's not going to be all that long. I want everyone to pay attention. Like I said, this is for flat earthers. This is for you guys, right? For when they refraction, they're toast. And you can destroy them quickly. And I'm going to show you how, right? It's not going to be difficult. So we have refraction. Isn't that beautiful? I thought it was a beautiful picture. Everyone complains that I don't have pictures in my videos there, so I put some random pictures in there. Of course, right on topic, right? We got some Pink Floyd action going on. We got some actual refraction, right? So what do we do? What is our modus operandi whenever we enter a topic, whether it be new or an old topic, especially with an audience? And everyone
Deny,
listening,
make shit
well,
up.
we define our terms. I suggest this. I stressed this the other day because what happens, people get into discussions, arguments, and they don't define what they're talking about. The two parties don't do it. And it starts to circle the drain immediately. And then 25 minutes later, you find yourself talking about, the color of cotton socks in Narnia. Why? Well, one of the reasons why is you didn't define terms. This is very simple. It's called the Socratic method. Define the terms so everyone understands, not only you and the other party, but most importantly, the audience, so they can follow along. You're going to lose them quickly if you don't define what you're talking about. Okay? That's a pro tip. So that's what we're going to do right now. So refraction, what is it? From the physics classroom, let's take a close look at this. Refraction is the bending of the path of a light wave. There's a problem there, but I digress. We'll get to that. Be patient. As it passes from one material to another. Really? That's quite interesting. The refraction occurs at the boundary and is caused. Whenever you see that term, then a weather eye should raise, right? Because it's going to tell you what the necessary antecedent is for that topic you're discussing, for the existence of that topic you're discussing. So you raise a weathered eye, here it comes. It's caused by a change in the speed of a light wave. Upon crossing the boundary spoken of here, right? The tendency of a ray of light to bend one direction or another is dependent on whether the light wave speeds up or slows down upon crossing the boundary. And they give us the formula, a perfect reflection of what the definition just told you, right? You have the N material, that's the index of refraction. Everyone's heard that term, right? Bandied about. No one's ever defined it. As long as I've been out here, just index of refraction. Yeah, or refractive index. Boy, that sounds great. What the heck does that mean? This is what it means. So you got N material equals a ratio. In this particular case, it's the speed of light in a vacuum. Now, I don't know why they put the speed of light in a vacuum. This is supposed to be a natural law. Vacuums don't exist in nature.
Oh, Jesus, did he just say that?
You see where I'm going with that. So it's the speed of light in a vacuum over the reference material. The speed of light in the reference material, that's all it is, folks.
Yes, so here he goes again. So he's decided his caveat here is, even though this is going to be explained to you perfectly by this whatever I'm citing, you can't believe it now because I'm putting a caveat in here. You see how he slipped that caveat in to discredit what he's about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's foreshadowing what's coming.
Yeah, exactly. So he knows.
Oh, indeed. Should I let him get to it here? Because I feel like it's about to... okay, I'll bring it right back in then.
It's a ratio. And what's a ratio? Well, that's one thing compared to or in relationship with another thing. It's just as simple as that, right? And you can get the index of refraction every single time from this formula right here. It equals a constant. That's the index of refraction. Follow? Now, everyone knows what we're talking about here. Don't worry about it. These definitions are going to pop up throughout the presentation. If you didn't catch it now, you will catch it. Now, remember, the most important part to look at that, I put that real big for you, so it would burn into your retina. It's as the light wave, as it passes from one material to another material. The boundary, the interface between two different materials. Everyone see that? It's very important. It's going to become critically important over the next 30 minutes. Now again.
Oh, dear God.
The refractive index. You can get there two ways. This has N subscript 2(1). That's the index of refraction with substance 2 versus substance 1 from here. From epsilon 1 over epsilon 2. Where do we see this? We see it right up here. That's the
Just
same
stop it for 1
formula,
second.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he saw V there and he thought it meant versus. It means. It means I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. So QE.
It's like, no, QE, it's not a fucking DC movie. Try again.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. That. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I thought tell you that.
It's nice to have these intellectual giants with us.
Well, I was wondering how verses applied in this situation because I'm sort of able to follow along. And then you come up with that, and I'm just dying now because it really.
I'm trying really hard, Professor. Are there any formulas in science which is a thing versus another thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is that even a formula?
Yeah, no, that was I had to pick myself up off the floor for that one.
What are you talking about? You're in Australia. You don't pick yourself up the floor. You pull yourself off the ceiling.
Oh man, that was intense. Good giggles. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. So should we let him continue and see who wins?
Yeah.
Versus.
It's a battle for the ages, folks.
You can take the velocity of the speed of light in a vacuum over your reference material. What I'm trying to stress here, it's always a ratio. Always a ratio. Then it has equal sign. The right part of this equation is Snell's law. Now, we're going to get into that here in a few minutes, a little bit more in depth. But let me just say that this is also a ratio, isn't it? It's just the trigonometric ratio. Same thing. This equals Snell's law. You're going to get the same constant. No matter which way you do it, you'll get the same index of refraction. Hopefully everyone's following that. It's just that simple.
Can I ask?
No. So, the 5-dagger fistful of dipshittery. Number 1, Your Honor and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Exhibit 1. Whenever Baltard's refraction, they're unwittingly invoking terrestrial refraction. Well, what's that? Right? We're going to have to, they put a little term in front of this term that we defined above. So what's that mean? Well, let's go to the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young from San Diego State, astronomy department, and have him describe what terrestrial refraction is. The atmosphere is also curved. That's interesting. As it follows the shape of the Earth, in the calculations below, we'll adopt a rough value of 6,400 kilometers, the radius of curvature, to make the calculation simple. So what is this description telling you? Now I'm going to highlight them here for you. You see these two little items right here? These are called necessary conditions, antecedent facts that must hold true for this to exist. Follow? If one of these does not exist, that one or that one, this doesn't exist. It's just that simple. So, for terrestrial refraction to exist, like I said, two conditions, that is necessary antecedents, must exist. Exhibit 1A, Your Honor. You must have curved gases. The atmosphere. Why? Well, he told you, Andrew Thomas Young told you right here. You must have curved gases. Now remember, the atmosphere is a contradiction in terms. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape, Andrew. If you think they do, that is gases.
So two things. This idea of this is again. This is his way of trying to discredit this information. saying you must have curved gases. What he's actually should be saying is that the gases curve around the Earth, which is what Andrew Young was saying. But no, he's just, what he's doing is trying to separate that out so that gases on their own have nothing to do with the actual surface that they're on. He's pretending that there's no relationship between them. This way, he's saying that there can't be a shape to the gas. Gas doesn't have a shape. Well, the gas is actually following the curvature of the Earth. Just like if you go up in an aeroplane and you can look across, if you get just above the clouds, all the clouds look like they're all at one level. Why is that? Why are all the clouds at one level? Why aren't they asking them this question? Answering them.
That's a good one too.
And an interesting part about the shape is, well, if the Earth is flat, then the atmosphere is the shape of that flat Earth. What's the difference?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely. Still saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's saying that there's no atmosphere on a flat Earth, I guess.
I hear he's got an OnlyFans now. It's called Flurfical Masturbation.
Oh dear God!
And then the other part of the deflection, which appeals to an intellect that's even lower, if that's possible, it says that atmo and sphere, and therefore the word doesn't make sense. Well, if you've got to fight with the English language, then that's in a different place. Go fight with Oxford or somebody like that who's writing dictionaries.
But it's atmosphere and sea level and aeroplane. Oh,
not to pull the fallacy card, but since they like it so much, that's called the argument from definition, logical fallacy. Defining.
I've been.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've been trying to learn them all and make sure I can pull them out when need be for debate things, even if it's just for comments. When it's when the participants agree to non-formal debate, okay, that's fine. But you could still say, "Wow, that was that all wrapped up into a sandwich of 3 minutes." Like there'd be funny comment, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get my head around it all because it's not usually my thing. I mean, math is more my thing, being a natural musician and whatnot. I mean, it all comes down to math, right? Where are we here, Professor? A little bit more then?
I thought you said meth.
Oh, I know.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Reach the crux of it soon. And it's very timely.
You failed first grade intro to gas behavior.
Okay.
Literally. From Christy Bodak, Southwestern University. Grade level 1. I will use this lesson with a first grade class. If an object is in a gaseous state of matter, it will not have a definite shape or a definite volume. Over. Now, do I need this? Just Christy? No, it's just to make a point. I could provide over 100 citations with little effort saying over and over again that gases have no definite shape. Number one, it's self-evident to somebody in a coma. And every citation, scientific or otherwise, tells you the same thing. Let's just finish it up here with Chem Lieber text. Like liquids, gases have no definite shape. It's over. I can rest. Your Honor, the prosecution rests. I can rest my entire case right here, and they can't recover. That's how easy it is. So flat earthers, that's all you need. Why? Because they need it with their terrestrial refraction. It's described that way. You must have it. And they can't have it. So I just rest my case right here. How you like that?
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to rest my case right here. I'm going to go for a comprehensive presentation, but make no mistake, all the rest is just gravy. I'm just dancing on the grave. So keep that in mind. All right? It's going to get merciless, savage coming up here. The savage part is already over. Right here.
Wow.
Hope everyone gets that. And B, you must know the radius of the Earth. Why? Well, guess what? It's part of the necessary conditions for terrestrial refraction to exist. It's right there. It's the second one. From Andrew Thomas Young. He gives it to you.
Just stop
So
it for a sec.
demonstrate the radius.
Just so if there's any flat earthers listening, there's Gary Wybenga who's listening. We do know the radius of the Earth. Dipstick.
Yeah, it was roughly, almost accurately calculated about 2,200 years ago, something like that, wasn't it? Give or take.
Just that and the millions and millions of times afterwards.
Yeah, yes, yeah. The first time, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. By every first year surveying student in every university on the planet.
I did it in my secondary level school. With some, we called them friend schools from other countries. We did it in my fourth year. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and by the way, self-evident. That's called appeal to self-evident truth, logical fallacy. Just saying. All right, I guess we're ready.
The Earth.
Keep going.
So what you have here is a begging the question fallacy radius wrapped in a contradiction in terms paradox atmosphere. Now, you can use this one. I have no problem with it. You can use the radius of the Earth to destroy terrestrial refraction, right? I'm just trying to save you some time because you're going to get bogged down in the who, what, when, where, how, and why of the radius of the Earth when you could just kill it quick with curved gases. Now, a lot of people like to do this. I'm not saying don't. You're perfectly within your rights to kill it that way. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Either way. But I rest, Your Honor. Remember, with Exhibit 1A, the prosecution rests above. I'm just showing off now. Dagger number 2.
Showing us how
parts
stupid
must
he is.
invoke Snell's law.
Usually.
There is no other way around it. So, Snell's law, what is it? Well, from their alma mater wiki, let's define this one. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law, and the law of refraction. Now, the formulation down here is by Descartes, René Descartes. Snell had a little different articulation of it. It wasn't wrong. It's just that we don't use it. We use René Descartes. It's not a big deal. I digress. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law and the law of refraction, is a formula used to describe the relationship between the angles of incidence and refraction when referring to light or other waves passing through there it is again, a boundary between what? We've seen this before, two different isotropic media. And
He's
they
reading
give
the wiki.
examples. Well, what are the different media? Water, glass, air. Right? So it's air to water, air to glass, water to air, glass to air. You see, it's two different isotropic media. You can't get around this to death.
So this is the bit that he's forgotten, that there are also a difference between air at different temperatures. So he's just clean forgot about that. And of course, if you have a look at any of the pictures that show refraction, please explain what is the difference. What's the difference between their black swan image and another picture that shows that doesn't have this effect? What's causing the difference?
Yes, gradient index.
I was looking up Snell's law on Wiki just as he was saying it, and he read that word for word from Wiki.
Verbatim? Yeah.
Verbatim. Yeah, we're literally
I think
absolutely every single word.
I think he said that, though. I said that he went to Wiki for that.
Oh, did he? All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, okay, I'll bring him back in then here because, oh God, this is really getting deep.
Reflects the formula. You must have two different media. Snell's law is simply the relation between the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction and the refractive indices of the two media being compared. Right here. It's in the formula. You have the angles of incidence, theta, right here, incidence, over theta refractive. It's right there. You can't get around this. It's two media. Every single time you pull up Snell's law, if you research Snell's law, you're going to see a depiction somewhere or a reasonable facsimile of this. Why? Because it's in the formula. You can't get out of it, right? So what do we got here? We have air and water. 1, 2. The relationship between the two. The boundary, right?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
You must have this. I hope everyone understands. It's quite simple. Very easy to understand. Let's head back to, remember I stopped here in the beginning with the first ratio. So the index of refraction. So N equals C over epsilon. All this is saying is giving you, again, another ratio. And we already went over this. Index of refraction is N. C is the speed of light in a vacuum, and epsilon is the speed of light in the reference material, whatever it is. Remember we went over this? I pulled up this caption above. N subscript 2,1, that's the relationship between epsilon 2 and epsilon 1. This is just a ratio. That ratio right here is depicted right here. The right side of the equation is Snell's law, as we just went over. It's going to give you the same answer. This is a trigonometric ratio. It doesn't matter. You're going to come out with the same answer as you did with V1 or V2 because they're equivalent statements, is what I wanted to point out. Here we go again, another depiction of Snell's law. Now, don't worry about the formulations over there. They're trying to solve for the angle of refraction. We're not all that interested in that because they give the indices or the indexes of refraction for what? Air versus the other substance, water. Right? It's always, like I said, it's always a comparison between two different media and the surface for the interface.
Pause. That is completely fucking false. I mean, you could have a single media, water, with a gradient index. In other words, you could have different refractive indexes throughout from bottom to top. And you can demonstrate that stuff just by putting some sugar in water in a fish tank and using a laser pointer. You can watch the laser pointer curve through a single media, water. Yep. So he's just fucking lying out his ass. He knows. There's no way he doesn't know what that is. Doing all this research and stuff, and he doesn't know what a gradient index material is. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all.
I agree. And this is totally a push to say that there can't be a pressure gradient and there has to be like an absolute barrier, right? Like this has got to be the end game here, isn't it?
We'll see.
I think. I don't know. I didn't watch because, I always want to go in dry, right?
Yeah, knowing him, it could be something just as stupider than that. So we'll see.
That's true. Okay. Here, I'll bring him back up for a bit more.
Between then said media, right? That's what I want to stress here. Hopefully everyone's got that because it's going to come very, very important right about now. A, the married bachelor paradox atmosphere is only one medium. So what does that have to do with Snell's law? Nothing. It's a category error. If you apply it to Snell's law, it's non sequitur. As simple as that.
What?
So what do? The Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit baltards only recourse, folks. Tie Snell's law to a tree and feebly adulterate it with their Tootsie Roll dicks after being found wanting and laughed at, snatch a baseball bat, and proceed to Bob Euchre flail blindly at the demobilized damsel and invoke the married bachelor paradox, curved gases atmosphere. You think I'm lying?
Oh, God.
Let's check it. From the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, San Diego State University, Astronomy Department, Snell's law. Snell's law gives the quantitative change of direction of a ray of light. We're going to be dealing with that later, but I digress. Ray of light and passing from one medium to another, right? He has to say that because that's Snell's law. He continues. The product N sine Z is the same on both sides of a plane interface, right? Interface between two media. You can't have an interface between one media. That makes no damn sense. Where N is the local refractive index and Z is the local angle the ray makes with the normal to the interface. That is Snell's law. He has to give it to you that way because that's what it is. Here comes the magic, baby. Get ready. In the curved atmosphere, what? Andrew, gases don't curve there, buddy. But he's going to curve the atmosphere. He's going to introduce a paradox now and change Snell's law. He's doing it right in front of your face. In the curved atmosphere, Snell's law, presto magico, becomes an R sine Z equal constant. What? Where'd you get this from? That's not Snell's law. Where's the R here? He wholesale changed the law right in front of your face, folks, by introducing a paradox, no less. Can you believe it?
So you know what the
Snell's law
paradox
becomes
means?
n R sine Z equals constant, where R is the distance from the local center of curvature. What local center of what curvature? The curved gases?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
See the page especially devoted this refractive invariant. Yeah, it's an invariant, all right. So here's what we got, folks. Abracadabra. Gonna reach out and pipe ya with pixie dust from the curved Atmo and Gondor. That's what he did. That's all he did. He's Andrew, I think he's like a witch, right? But he's a special type of witch because actual witches, they have things that they put in their witch's brew that are actual physical, like bat pee and frog's legs and stuff. Not Andrew, he's a different type of witch. He does it conceptually, with conceptual fictions, right? It's quite special, isn't it? That's all he did, folks. So the Boogerine Ball Tarts, Tootsie Roll Dick Shape Shift Delete, the quintessential tenet of Snell's law. I showed it to you a number of times. Two different isotropic media. He is substituting a paradox, curved gases atmosphere, into Narnia, and then presto magico, voila!
I gotta. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, has he ever heard of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune?
he said it. He said it himself, and he said it several times. And he doesn't realize he's saying it. And he doesn't realize what it means in isotropic media. So by changing certain parameters, temperature for one, in the atmosphere, you can have different isotropic layers, and they become different isotropic media. Thus, the index of refractions are different, and therefore it doesn't, when it crosses the boundary, changes direction. That's why all of those stupid laser demonstrations that FE Core likes to do are freaking useless because they can't show that there isn't a temperature gradient through which the laser is traveling.
Professor.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. So, I'd just like to share a picture, if I may. So I'll have
sure, no problem.
Yeah. 1 second. There you go. All right. So let's see how I do this. Okay.
I have to get a capture ready too, so I'm just doing it right now.
All right. Okay. Are you able to see this? Is it sharing?
Yeah.
It will be in a second. Yeah, there we go.
It is now, yep.
So, just in a nutshell, QE, this is my challenge to you. If as you said, terrestrial refraction isn't a thing, doesn't happen, can you please explain the difference between these two photographs allegedly taken from the same location, from the same elevation, and from the same spot. Why are they different?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, I like it. I think for the response, I'm going to use Thousand Island.
Yeah. Your question is, can he explain that? And I guarantee you, he cannot. He doesn't really understand what he's talking about.
I think in his own fantasy world, he probably could think he could explain it, but he's not going to use any explanation that's going to make any logical or scientific sense, right?
He's got to explain why these photos are different without using refraction.
He can't.
Oh,
I'd like to see how that happens.
Yeah, he can't.
Wow. So,
he's going to sound like Porky Pig trying to say goodnight.
and what I love about this is, Professor, is you have just used their own black swan against them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just think it's remarkable that you had there was a plane in the air while these photographs was being taken with one of those banners that says like, "Please explain this." You know, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
I guarantee you, this will not be a subject that they will bring up with these two photos together, and an explanation for why they are different.
And if they address it at all, they'll bring up the picture. They'll say some hand-waving nonsense and dismiss it as not worth consideration. That's what they'll do.
There'll be something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arwen might yell and scream and cry. Daniel Pratt might call you a Nazi, but nobody's good. You know, it's.
Yeah.
So tonight, once again, the black swan has been hunted and shot in the head. Bang. Again.
Yeah. Well, target acquired.
And those two photos falsify everything he just said. Everything.
They do. Indeed, they do.
Well, keep in mind that this is coming from a guy that subtracted a positive number from another positive number and ended up with a larger positive number.
Wow. Well, that's impressive.
Because that's a thing.
I'm sure
Q's math prowess is renowned throughout the universe.
Is he one of the other? Is he one of those ones that thinks that 10 to the negative 17 is a negative number? Is he one of them?
Probably so.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
Literally, I mean, I've done this bit 2 or 3 times in videos I've done. The idiot literally took a positive number, subtracted it from another positive number, and ended up with a bigger fucking number. What
That's impressive as shit. I'm glad he doesn't do stress analysis for me. That's right.
Basic first grade mathematics.
I guess it just goes to show that not all distributions of Linux should be used. I mean, how do you get a calculator that can't even do math in this day and age? No?
Wow.
You know, it just goes to show he should try using one, right?
Well, I kind of think that it's not the calculator, it's the operator that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe he's got
well, yeah. Run by a monkey that drinks too much. Shall we play a little bit more then, Professor? Okay. Get a little bit more. Do you want me to skip forward or anything?
Well, just before you do that, I'm sorry to have to disappoint you, but I literally have a class starting. It's 38, so what does that make it? Like 22 minutes. So I need to prepare for it. So I really have to go. Okay. But thank you very much for having me. I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
Thanks, Phil.
And please keep playing the rest of it, because even though I'm preparing some stuff for this, I can still listen to this. So it'll still be I can still get a bit of a laugh out of that. So
excellent.
Keep going, please, and like to hear the other people's opinions. But
excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for joining us, Professor. This was a great one, and I think we need to pick another target soon and do it again.
I'd like to pick on some of the things that Oakley says that are even funnier.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Let's get that planned. All right,
Okay.
buddy. Take care and have a
All right,
good
see you then.
class.
Okay, bye
Good
bye.
night,
All right.
Pepper.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Phil.
Professor.
Bye.
Wow.
All right. Well,
I love that.
who are we to? Sorry, Mike.
I say I love that picture he brought up and the question to
Yeah.
QE, because all that long-winded bullshit explanation QE threw out there was destroyed by one image, all of it. And he's not. And I'll bet you my paycheck he doesn't have the balls to address it.
Hey, I've just realised something, guys. Now that the professor's gone, we can say whatever the fuck we want now, can't we?
I thought about that.
I'll keep stum.
Oh, since when? Since when?
See, I thought it would have been DK that went there, but it was M2. Eh? All right, there we go.
I beat him to it for a change.
Yeah, that's all you
QE,
did.
you're a lying, scum-sucking fucking.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He definitely licked the balloon knot of the balloon holding the curved gases.
Yeah.
So,
Meanwhile, that balloon noise, Nathan Oakley.
Yeah. Hey, the rectum gets round if you pump it full enough of gas.
All I can say is there's a bit of flat Earth rimming going on. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, geez, here we go. Plumbing new depths already. Holy. Okay. So we've got about what 20-ish minutes tops. So why don't we do a little bit more, and then Aimee will take control and make some sense out of this fucking herd of creeps and freaks and whatever else we are, right? So I'm gonna push the button, and here it comes.
That's all it is. We're in a carnival tent, Narnia Odyssey. This is a belly lapper. This is a second grade belly lapper, folks. We're not done yet. One more tiny little issue.
Of course not.
The lack of precision. There's more issues down below. Don't worry. I want to deal with this one just as a technicality. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the definition of refraction with the depiction below. We're going to look at all the necessary conditions that must exist for refraction to exist. And then we're going to take a look down here and see if it comes to fruition, right? So again, this is from physics classroom. We've seen this in the beginning of the presentation. Refraction is the bending of a path of a light wave as it passes from, remember, one material to another. Okay, let's look down here. We have two materials, so we're good to go with that, right? We have air and water. Now we met that criterion. The refraction occurs at the boundary. Do we have a boundary here? We sure do. The boundary between air and water.
Course.
So we're good up to this point. And is caused by a change in the speed of a light wave upon crossing the boundary. Well, we have light, and it's crossing the boundary between air and water, and we have all the criteria
You know what's coming,
up
right?
to this point covered.
Oh yeah, I know.
The tendency of a ray of light to bend one direction or another is dependent on whether the light wave speeds up or slows down upon crossing the boundary. Well, we have that. We have light crossing the boundary. We have the surface interface between air and water, and the light is slowing down as it enters the water. So everything is covered in this definition. We should expect refraction.
Wow.
Do we have refraction here? Nope. R refraction equals zero.
Fuck.
What? I just satisfied all the criterion, but refraction is zero. This definition is incorrect because it's incomplete. There's a caveat here. They forgot the caveat was the incident ray.
It's incomplete. So we've been studying optics for fucking centuries. And this numpty thinks he's discovered something about optics that everybody, every physicist and scientist in the history of forever has missed. It's incomplete. My fucking asshole. Holy Christ. He talks about Dunning-Kruger. My Lord, he is the king of Mount Dunning-Kruger. First rule of Dunning-Kruger Club, you don't know you're in Dunning-Kruger Club. Son of a bitch.
That's hilarious. Oh, I did want to mention, you might notice our water cooler in the back has a slightly unappealing color to it. I would suggest nobody that lives in our area call the allegedly Dave water service, because wow, are we disappointed. Just going to point that out.
No.
What do we got for? Okay, we got a bit more time. I'll abuse your ears a little bit more. We'll hit the gong, and then Colin dropped a funny little thing from Huge Arse that we're gonna round out with. So here we go.
Angle must be greater than 0. Now, you may say, yeah, okay, QE, this is, one of those points you're just needlessly picking at it. No, I'm looking for precision. We need precision out here. This is supposed to be science. I don't know what university you guys went to, but I got sick and tired of hearing precision and accuracy. This lacks complete, there's not even in the vicinity of precision. And I just showed you no refraction, and I satisfied all the criterion of the definition. Now, didn't I? Yes, I did. Number 3, dagger. To establish the efficacy of Snell's law, please show photons as freaking waves. Why? Why do you think? Well, because it's in the definition. You guys getting it now, right?
I'm about to hit the gong.
From Wiki again. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law, and law of refraction. See, we got waves, right? Light for other waves, right? We got the physics classroom. We got light waves here, light waves, right? Light waves. We got light waves everywhere. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Hey, Beck,
oh God.
Can you please educate this ball-tard?
Thank God for that.
Thank you.
Well, it was Dr. Osiris that called it with the hashtag "Shut up, Meg." I was like, "Yeah, I agree. That's it."
Yeah, exactly. Matt would love it.
Dick, how much cold hard cash do I need to send you for just shutting that fuckwit up?
By the way, another version of Snell's law is the ratio of wavelengths. So, ratio of wavelengths also equals the ratio of the two angles of refraction between the two the different indexes. So if what light's not a wave, then why the fuck does that work? Idiot.
Oh, that's funny. I would love to be able to set up in person for this guy the double slit and just watch him drool.
I'd like to shove him through it.
Well, he actually did show up right here in person. But if he wasn't in front of me with his mouth full, he'd maybe be able to answer for himself.
Oh man.
I had to.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, why not? So, oh God. Okay, so here, you know what? I should bring us back over here, and I should babble just a tiny bit while I queue up Colin set up for us here. There's a little a funny from Huge Arse that just got put in.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You notice everything in his video is just claims. There's not a single piece of evidence. It's all conjecture and hand waving nonsense. There's nothing in there that is testable and verifiable. It's just believe me because I say so, and that's it. Nothing you could go off and test on your own.
And absolutely zero that he would take to an actual scientific community to discuss.
Yeah.
No papers, there's no science. It's just him just talking shit.
Well,
yeah.
And he would last 5 seconds amongst real people.
The only thing the guy ever brings is some cherry-picked bullshit dictionary definition. Done very poorly in multicolor. That's all he's got. Nothing else.
He's got lots of crayons.
Well, I mean, since there's no universities that have accreditation in flat Earth, Oakley's just declared himself an expert. So there you go.
Oh yeah,
that's funny.
Idiot. It is.
I'm gonna give the mods just a second because I want to drop Hugh Jars's channel link as we play this because this comes from him. And this is the word salad cream ad. And I thought, Cole thought, and he's right, that this would be an awesome thing to play it out with. So here, this is going to be our little pre-ending
word
thing.
Salad cream. It's flat free.
Either be they either
blah 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 blah.
Sounds like a wet dream to me.
I am a stupid flat earther.
Saddam Hussein was on the verge of revealing the flat earth.
Get your salads extra fluffy with word salad cream.
There's no intelligibility.
Because there's no science for a flat earth, and none of us are expected to know this kind of stuff. We're making this stuff up.
I would use water. I would use perfectly still water because in my model it would be perfectly level, flat, straight.
Flat earth, yeah, absolutely. You can touch the flat earth. You can see the flat earth. You can taste the flat earth.
Word salad cream. Taste it today.
That tastes like shit.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh no, man, I need
that was great.
Oh man, too funny. Wow.
I just want to point out that it's an Aussie that did that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Go Australia.
Damn straight.
He is a funny son of a bitch, and you got to head over there and sub to him right now because holy God, is he good?
Yeah,
amazing.
Well done, Hugh Josh. Really good. Well done.
Yeah.
And one of those clips he used is one of my favorites by Riley. It says, "There is no such thing as flat Earth science or a flat Earth model." He physically came out and said, of course, he blames it on everyone else, but yeah, he physically said that. And, they all say it now. They all say, well, we don't have a model. Well, then you can't make any claims.
Security alert.
Dickhead.
Morons detected. Deploying countermeasures.
I thought we'd get through the show without this kind of crap.
Zap him.
Flat Earth vermin have been eradicated. Condition green.
Sorry, Mike. There you go.
Oh, that was awesome.
Also, Mike, he also says, we're just making this up. And not a true has ever been said.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. That's
Well,
great.
what do you think, Amy? I think it looks like it's time to take us around the table.
I do too. So let's get right around the room and see how everybody's doing tonight. So let's start off with M2M. Matt, what did you think of this evening?
Well, I know I've said this several times before, and you probably heard me say it, but I've claimed each week that the flat earth that we've been talking about is like way at the top of the special curve that we like to refer to. But I've got to say, QE seems to be the kind of person that Dunning-Kruger curve was invented for. I mean, his sheer arrogance combined with saying the stupidest and dumbest things is beyond anyone I know within the flat earth community. I mean, I have known it for a while, but I tend to avoid listening to him, this arsewipe, mostly because of his aggressive manner. But tonight it's just reinforced my view that he beats them all in the race to the very peak of the Dunning-Kruger curve. So, well done,
Good
QE.
job.
You're king of the hill. Come and collect your medal, dumbass. Politely, respectfully, of course.
That's awesome. Thank you. And next up, we have Mike Bertelson. Mike, what did you think of this evening?
There's a reason I avoid watching any of QE's videos because he just pisses me off. That was some of the stupidest shit I've heard out of him in a long time. And he says stupid stuff every day. This was reaching the pinnacle of stupid and stuff that's so easy to verify, so easy to test on your own. Good God. Yes, he is the leader of Dunning-Kruger Club.
Oh, he definitely is. It's awful. I'm going to go to Big Blue next. What did you think of this evening, Big Blue?
Well, I thought the same thing Mike thought and Matt thought. I mean, this guy is not worth the time, really. I mean, he has no clue about anything he speaks about, as far as I can tell. So, QE, anytime you'd like to debate me on an open channel, fair channel, get in touch, buddy. I'll be right here.
Excellent. That is excellent. So next, I'm going to go to DKG. What did you think of this evening, DKG?
Oh, it was like nails down a chalkboard. What can I say? I mean, I don't think I can add any more to what the guys have already said. QE, I mean, honest to God, who the hell is going to listen to that unless you are a flat earther who is already lost? That's all it is. It's just confirmation for idiots to listen to other idiots. That's all it is. But I would like to, give a shout out to Professor Phil Bell, who did the weakest rage quit I've seen in a long time. Well done to Phil.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Apart from Barman, he did an even weaker rage quit by just falling asleep. But then, I mean, as QE started talking, my brain was just like switching off. I was I was barely listening to it because it was just utter shit.
I mean, Barman was actually snoring at the right time because it was actually why QE was actually talking with this. I don't know if you heard that or not. I did.
I actually thought it was on QE stream, but
That was awesome. And so, Mipet, you're up next. What did you think of
before you go, Kate?
Sorry.
Let's not be harsh on the poor Barman. He's tuckered out. He's working hard.
Oh, I know. Working hard, man. Yeah.
He really is. He's back on track again, so we're gonna let him rest.
Fuck that. Pick on him anyway. It's
we want to poke him so bad and just go poke. So Mipet, what did you think of this evening?
Welcome to our new members in Discord. And don't forget, Uncalled For with Global Mum on Sunday. But tonight was QE's just, when you said crayons, I just pictured him pulling them out of his nose. Is that wrong?
No, it's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
And then he starts chewing on them.
Yeah, I don't think they were up his nose.
I think he does need a few more colours. I think he's starting to run out of crayons.
I think so. They're coming out his ears now. So and last but not least, before I get to myself, how about you, Dick? What did you think of this evening?
I learned something today. No, but if I'm gonna be serious, what I learned is that you have to be very careful in your selection of dressing when listening to Quantum Eraser. Because I found in the beginning I was going for ranch, but afterwards I was really leaning to Thousand Islands. So, my advice, people, is you've got to have a selection on hand to make sure you can handle the situation. And very much like Blue said, you got to push that monitor out of punching range, and you definitely need to be wearing oven mitts when eating that salad. And no metal forks. Use plastic because the injuries aren't going to be permanent. So, that's my take on things.
There's only one dressing that will go on that word salad, and that's when allegedly Dave comes up with one.
Gross. Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. That was quite the evening we had. That, oh my goodness. I think my brain smoothed out yet again. I've got to repair it. So it was a great evening. I want to thank Professor Phil Bell most of all for coming up with this idea and for bringing, QE to the channel.
Didn't Big Blue sum up as well? Didn't he get a chance to sum up? Did
Yes,
we
he
miss
did.
Big Blue?
Oh, you did.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Pay attention.
I'm
No.
sorry. I had put my headphones down for half a minute. That's probably I must have missed
Yeah,
it.
30 lashes. Never mind. Don't interrupt the lady.
Sorry.
I know what I'm doing. So I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to thank everyone in the chat. I want to thank the panel too for being able to tolerate QE and everything. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you all have a great morning or evening wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Now, fuck off.
Such a
Eat snacky s'mores.